In 1891, at the Reichenbach Falls, near Meiringen in Switzerland, Sherlock Holmes finally closed his account with Professor Moriarty, the most dangerous criminal of his generation. The two men were alone in that dreadful place, but the outcome of their struggle was obvious to a trained observer. Holmes had achieved the destruction of his arch-enemy only at the cost of his own life. It is now 3 long years since my dear friend plunged to his death. There, deep down under the swirling water, the infamous Professor Moriarty and the foremost champion of law of his generation will lie together for all time. Even now, there is hardly a corner of London that does not remind me of my old friend. I never walked down Baker Street, where we shared rooms for so many eventful years, without it reminding me only too keenly of the past and the loss of one I shall ever regard as the best and wisest man I have ever known. I retained a keen interest in criminal matters and supplemented my meager practice by working as a police surgeon. It was in the early spring of 1894 that I was called out early in the morning to an appointment in the West End. Morning, Constable.
Morning, Doctor. Inspector Lestrade is waiting for you, first floor.
Thank you. Inspector?
Early call, I'm afraid, Doctor. I'm glad to see you. The Honourable Ronald Adair. Oh, not there, sir, if you please.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Age 23. A second son of the Earl and Countess of Maynooth. Father, governor of one of the Australian colonies. Mother in London for the winter. Son and daughter living in this house with her.
Suicide?
Oh, no. No weapon. Oh, this was found on the floor beside the corpse.
That's one of those soft-nosed revolver bullets. Horrible things.
Yes.
Must have gone right through the poor fellow's head. It's unusual, isn't it, for a pistol to have such a velocity? More like a rifle.
Yes.
Well, it's murder then, Inspector.
Oh, yes.
Any idea who it was?
No. It's early days yet, but this one looks to me as if it could turn out to be a bit of a puzzle.
Well, presumably he was, sitting in that chair.
I suppose counting that money.
Oh, the murderer doesn't appear to have been a thief.
Adair had spent the evening playing cards at his club.
Time for one last hand.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Now we can get our revenge.
Thank you.
Oh, Ronald, what's the damage?
Ronald? Ronald? I suppose Ronald couldn't have gone out again.
No, my lady. I heard him come home at about 10:30. And he hasn't gone out again. Of that I'm sure. Mr. Ronald. Mr. Ronald, sir. Let's break it down, my lady.
Well, from the condition of the body, death was instantaneous.
I suppose the murderer came in through the window.
Well, the window was open. Strange part of the matter is that there were no signs of any intruder. Nothing, inside or out.
I wouldn't like to climb up here at night. Must have been a monkey.
As you say, Doctor, an impossibility. Looks like the murderer had wings. Well, this sort of case sort of interested our old friend, Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
Yes, indeed.
What a loss he is, Doctor. Oh, I didn't always approve of his methods, but he was the best amateur there was or ever likely to be. Well, there were times when he even got the better of me.
All right, Inspector, if you arrange for our friend to be brought round to the mortuary, I'll conduct an autopsy this afternoon.
Yes, indeed, Doctor. Well, see you at the inquest.
Till then.
Dr. Watson, you are a police surgeon.
Yes, sir.
You examined the deceased, Ronald Francis Adair, who is the subject of this inquest, and later conducted a post-mortem on the corpse.
I did, sir.
Pray, what are your findings?
Death occurred as the result of a bullet wound from a .45 revolver.
Dr. Watson, I beg you to keep to fact. My business is to establish the facts of this case.
I'm sorry, sir, I don't understand.
You say that the bullet came from a .45 revolver. That is pure speculation on your part. It is not your business to start guessing at the type of weapon used. That is a subject for the police.
I'm sorry, sir.
Pray continue.
Death occurred as the result of a wound from a soft-nosed lead bullet. The bullet penetrated the skull above the left eye, traversing the left frontal lobe, through the cerebellum, and then exited from the skull at the back of the head by the left occipital parietal suture.
In your opinion, when did death take place?
Well, it would have been instantaneous.
Have you any idea how far this bullet had traveled before it entered the body?
I cannot be sure, but it would certainly be more than 4 or 5 feet.
Time of death?
Death occurred between 10:30 and 11:30 post-meridian on the 20th of this month.
Thank you, Dr. Watson.
Ronald Adair and I were in the Harrow 11 together. He was a first-class bat, pretty effective leg spinner.
A good sportsman, in fact.
Absolutely first-class sportsman, sir. Straight as a die. One of the most popular fellows I know.
Thank you, Mr. Murray. Sir John Hardy.
I was Ronald Adair's godfather and a trustee of the estate. Of course, the family is absolutely devastated by this appalling tragedy. I put the boy up for the Bagatelle Club, as a matter of fact. He always enjoyed a game of cards.
Win or lose, would that affect Mr. Adair in any way, Sir John?
Good Lord, no. Not in the least. He never played such high stakes they could affect him at all. The family fortune is a very considerable one.
Thank you, Sir John. You have been a great help. And may I say that evidence from such a distinguished person as yourself is greatly valued by the court. Colonel Moran, you were the last person known to have seen Mr. Adair. Did you know him well?
I wouldn't say that I knew Ronald Adair well. Knew his father, Lord Maynooth, very well. Used to play polo together in India. But Ronald... Well, I've seen quite a good bit of him at our clubs over the past few months. We played cards together from time to time. Oh, charming boy. Good manners, intelligent. Matter of fact, he's just the stamp of young fellow I'd like to see joining my old regiment.
Did you notice anything unusual about him? Did he seem worried or upset on the last evening you saw him?
Not in the least. Quite the opposite, in fact.
Have you any idea why someone should choose to murder him?
No idea at all. I doubt if he had an enemy in the world.
Thank you, Colonel Moran. Inspector Lestrade, would you give me your opinion as to the cause of the Honourable Ronald Adair's death?
Yes, sir. Willful murder by person or persons unknown.